So there was the exciting building.
It's always an adventure.
It is, and I think it helps you guys understand, like, when I ask for approval for certain things, so that you can see the condition of the building and just have a better idea of what I'm asking for. So, Barbara, I will go ahead and get this renewed for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I told her I would bring it.
Okay. Okay. We wanna, I think like some stuff to the restaurant.
The waiver.
Do we have to put the resume time?
Well, you have to just mention that, and the minutes will say that you did the, yeah. Yeah,
These
so,
are retained,
yeah.
like,
We're coming to that.
they're from 2016.
Yeah.
it's, I'll explain it when we get to that.
It's one of those fun things that's
That are required, yeah.
required.
Do you get yours sent to you?
I never did it at home, so it was gonna go here, right? I did the ALA.
Don't you get a magazine once a month?
Yeah, I do, at home.
Yeah.
Well, then you've probably gotten this and probably just brought it in.
But also,
I
We can
asked
check on
Lance,
your, we'll check on your.
I asked Lance if she needed it, she said yes. That's why I brought it in.
Okay.
And I wasn't registered yet, so.
So what we're talking about, Lima, is when you're a board member, we register you for the American Library Association as a board member. And so you get, the most obvious thing is every month you get a copy of American Libraries, which is the magazine for our profession. And then there's like, discounts on classes and those kinds of things and stuff. So we've gone ahead
It was an
and,
email too, the renewal.
yes.
That's
So-
that's where mine was. It's like, oh, you renewed, I didn't do anything, so she must have done it on your end.
She, because a lot of times if we have to renew a couple at a time, we just call them, because ALA's offices are in charge.
It's an annual thing, right? Because I think
Yeah.
mine happened in June.
Yeah, so it just depends on, yeah. Okay, I was, just got it started, so.
All right, so we're at approval of minutes for the regular board meeting at June 14th, 2018.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of Marlboro Public Library Board of Trustees meeting on June 14th, 2018.
And second.
Second.
Any questions, any corrections?
All those in favor?
Sorry, yeah, that's me.
All those in favor?
Oh, no,
You don't have to roll call, voice vote is fine, yeah.
okay. I.
Just all those in favor?
Aye, that's what I was trying to say.
And then any opposed?
Public comments, agenda items only, no public. President's report, I guess the only thing I'll share is I walked in the 4th of July parade, it was
And you
quite
did a good job.
toasty. Yeah, the only thing I would suggest is that, let's have some, maybe more volunteer, and maybe we could get like some of the patrons to help hand out stuff or something.
We can look into it
You
and
know,
other things.
just so it's
Easter
easier.
hours out somewhere and
Like we,
anyone wanting to march in the parade.
if we
Oh, I
did-
do that.
Oh, you do?
Oh, you do?
Yes, and people that are, all of my non-exempt employees get paid.
I saw that, I was like, oh, that's a good deal.
And
Why
they
would
still, people, It's an odd time.
Yeah.
I will be honest that if the parade was in the morning, we would probably have twice as many votes.
It's because it's
It's
And
the
this
time.
year was in the middle of the week, so everybody was taken,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
so it's,
Could we like offer like a goodie bag? like a special goodie bag? for those
we can
patrons
talk
who
about
vote?
ways to increase participation. But a lot of it I know is just because of the time of the day.
Yeah.
And so
That's a
it's
bad time.
difficult for people because, they have, like I had,
Their times and.
my family's cookout is right when the parade is as well.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah,
I couldn't go and stuff, so.
Well, it was fun to be
Yeah.
a part of it. It was,
Yeah, I mean, more people, and Melissa was supposed to be there, but she had a medical emergency with her mom, and,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Committee reports, finance.
Okay, we'll start with the cash statement. Are there any questions? We still got money.
We do still have money, and we probably will start to see more money, some money come in, because taxes are due August 1st. So, yeah, we'll probably start to see a little bit in the operating fund go up again before it starts going down. But this is about, now to the end of the year, that amount will decrease, which is what it's supposed to do.
The income statement. Anybody have any questions? Like Pam said, we're really,
We're halfway,
We're
this
halfway through.
indicates halfway through the year.
this is halfway through the year, and we've only used 44%, so
Right.
I guess that's a good thing. It's not gloat on it, because you never know.
Right. I mean, and really, it's nice, we're not purposely not spending money,
Right, it's just-
but, ways that we can save money, we're trying to, and then any monies that aren't spent, at the end of the year, we can transfer into special reserves. What we end up doing is that money kind of floats us till March, when we start getting tax receipts again, but,
Right.
yeah. But, so we're in a pretty good place financially, I feel like, right now.
Any questions on the PMA? Nope. The check register, any questions on any checks?
Yes. I noticed St. Martha's went up $50.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we paid them twice. There's a check, 2444.
One was, what is this, one was May, I think, and the other
Oh,
one
it's
was.
just
Yeah,
right,
I
just the way that
questioned
when it
that
came
too.
through, yeah.
And it just happened to be,
Okay. And then 2471, brain fuse for
Yeah.
11,000. What was that?
That's a database, a homework help database.
Okay.
That's an annual
And
payment.
this is one that you do it.
Yep.
Why are there two separate ones to Village of Morton Grove? Is it just for?
One is the employee portion of
Okay.
IMRF, and one is the employer portion.
Gotcha, okay.
Because, and we write that check to Morton Grove, the village, because they are our official authorized IMRF agent.
Right, okay.
So library furniture, $24.94. We rent our furniture?
No, that's, which number is that? Let me-
2494, 6,607.
That is the payment for.
Page 3.
Yeah, that's the half of the payment for the new shelving for downstairs, yeah. Shelving is much more expensive than you would think,
Yeah.
so.
Well, you need to sturdy and.
Yeah, it has to last, and it's all, and we wanted to get it ordered now because, before the steel tariffs went into effect. Yeah. So that's gonna factor into any shelving that we get from now on until our president changes his mind. So that's what that is.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports for June 2018.
Second.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Masajan,
Yes.
Monzon,
Yes.
Novick,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes, Puzo.
Yes.
Okay. Facilities, we kind of just did a big facility type
I
thing.
have a question about facility, nothing to do with it. Just in our bylaws, it says facilities committee meets twice a year.
Mhm.
We really don't do that, and
We did have a facilities committee meeting in January, I think, February.
We did?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, I didn't realize.
yeah. I'd have to go back and check the minutes, but
I
we've
believe
had
you.
one this year. We have had one this year.
There's been at least
I was just gonna say, can we eliminate it or define what facility meetings are supposed to cover?
Well, I don't have my bylaws with me. I believe that it is defined in the bylaws already, but.
All that I remember defining was that it'll be meet twice a year.
No, there's, for all of the standing committees, it is outlined in the bylaws. What they do.
It's gotta be for that.
No, I think it's, yeah.
January 29th was the date of the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right. So finance executive here.
The search committee shall consist of 2 trustees,
Yeah, so-
1 independent, presidential appoint 1 of the members. Okay.
It's responsible for a program of maintenance and repairs, remodeling the grounds and physical facilities of the library.
Okay.
So, and we did have a meeting because we had not met, and we
Yeah.
did schedule a meeting in January.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's tour should be a meeting.
Yeah, I mean, and the board can elect, or the board can say that that was kind of a committee meeting of the whole, of the facilities committee.
Then why don't we do that and that way?
That's totally fine, and then you would meet the bylaws if that makes sense. It's totally fine. So the minutes can reflect that
Yeah.
that the annual walkthrough serve as one of the
Otherwise,
2
it's
meetings.
useless to have a committee.
Well, you know, I mean, there's times, you know, if we go through a remodel, the facilities committee may meet more often, just,
Right.
you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, if everything is kind of going status quo, yeah, I mean, I think the annual walkthrough could certainly serve as one of those.
I'm not trying to be difficult.
I mean, I would say that,
Do we need any motion, or just say, let the minutes show that?
Could be new business anyway, right, in terms of.
yeah, I don't know that we really need to vote on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I mean, it can be done. It should-
yeah, I would
guess
just
it
say
should
that
just be-
the minutes will reflect that the, you know, board
The annual walkthrough will serve as
as
a little
a committee meeting of the whole of the finance committee meeting.
Yeah,
We'll figure out.
that's fine.
Yep.
I'm just trying to
Yep,
keep us above board.
yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's enough outside rules to follow without our own to get in the way.
Policy, there's no report tonight.
No, so next policy committee meeting is right now scheduled for August 6th, I believe, and I will send out the policies that need to be reviewed. I don't know what those are at this point.
So staff reports.
In addition to my written report, one thing that I did not include in this, and it's kind of big. The loan was paid off, so that's done. I have the loan payment, or the documentation saying that it's all done. So that, I had budgeted for that, and so it's not like it's extra money, but we are done paying off that loan, so.
That's
we are not
nice.
set. So, and I completely spaced it when I was doing my written report, so my apologies. And I don't think there's anything else I need to add to my report that is not gonna be covered later on.
So I would just like to share that I love the scavenger hunt. I thought that
Oh,
was,
everyone
super
really loves
cute.
the scavenger hunt,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
really fun.
Mhm.
So I thought that was a cute little. Any other,
Nothing for me.
anything corporate council?
So if it's okay with the president, I can kind of combine that with the unfinished business,
Okay.
section 100.
Okay.
Well, the agenda item is that we do have some correspondence from Frank regarding whether or not doing any kind of seller financing on the building across the street would affect our tax exempt status for that piece of property. Brian Rip, our broker, showed the property last week, I believe, and there is some potential interest. So actually, he showed it on June 15th, but has just last week had heard that, there were 2 residential brokers. This is what he said, that he believes they're acting as principals and want to develop the property themselves. And then he received an email from them last week, asking if the library would be willing to do seller financing, either full-term or short-term, i.e. until rehab is complete to get a residential loan, because basically they want to do residential rentals. So there's some other tax questions. They have not made any kind of offer. It is my understanding that us serving as, us doing seller financing would mean that we would no longer be able to be that property would not be tax exempt any longer. And the taxes we would have to pay, I don't think would be offset by what, but any potential interest we could get. So I would be reluctant to do that. I did email Frank Tennant, our attorney, about that. And excuse me for checking my phone, but his email is on here, and I didn't get a chance to print it out for you. Sorry. Basically, Frank's kind of in a nutshell saying that he would recommend doing any kind of seller financing. A, because it could potentially affect our tax exempt status on that piece of property.
He would
not.
He would not recommend,
Oh,
I'm
you
sorry.
said would.
I probably did say would, because I'm watching my little thing
There it
spin. No, he's not. I am, apparently. Basically, he's saying, unless, he said, unless the building is costing you a lot of money right now, which it's not costing us anything really, or, there's really no other interest. Well, that's true, but it's not costing us anything to hang on to it. He would recommend against doing that. He said there are some different scenarios that the tax exempt status, you might be able to keep it or you might not, but it would depend very much on the specific situation. So I had responded to Brian Rick, the broker, saying, really we're not, I said, I can't speak for the board completely, I said, but I think I have a pretty good idea that we're not really interested in doing that. We'd like to get the lump sum up front. We have a project that we want to finance with those funds. I said, but I am checking with my
I would
attorney.
think it would be a pretty exact contract and cover every aspect
Right.
conceivable.
Right.
Because they could walk out on it.
Well, that's just it. I mean, and that's what, Frank and Brian Rip, the broker, said, is that, the concern is that they end up not getting a loan, and then, I mean, there might, if we do a seller finance, we would keep whatever they did pay for us, and we would still get the property, but then, is that worth it if we've lost our tax exempt status for that property, and then we're having to pay, $20,000 to $30,000 a year in taxes on that? So,
There's also the fact that will our village accept that as a legitimate business?
well, they
They're
have
not selling
said,
donuts.
Residential.
they have said, now apparently according to these 2 buyers, potential buyers, they told Brian Rip, the village is receptive to doing residential rentals. We have not heard that from the village, and Brian Rip has not heard that from the village.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly,
Absolutely,
exactly.
because
So we're just
I'm
going,
hearing things that the village is gonna try to work with us and blah, blah,
And we don't even know
blah,
how
blah,
serious
but
these
I-
buyers are.
right, right.
So,
And them saying, they also threw out this number, which I think is interesting, because they haven't made any kind of offer. So this is what the potential buyers have said. The village is receptive to doing residential rentals. Would they reevaluate taxes at residential rates, i.e. building sells at $250,000, the taxes are as a normal $250,000 house is taxed? And Brian answered them, he said, well, taxes are set by the county, not so much the village. Not though, property taxes are set by the county, not the village. So, and he said, and Brian, our broker, said to me, he goes, I don't know where they got the $250,000, he goes, that's just a number they throw out there. Maybe they're just using that as an example.
yeah.
But, based on this, it wouldn't be my recommendation to move forward with this, just because I think it opens us up to, I don't know that it's really to our benefit too much. I'm very, very concerned about the potential that we would lose our tax exempt status on that piece of property, and that would not be cheap. And that, it would be nice to get that lump sum of money, because we do have things that we want to do with it. So, I plan on talking to Frank tomorrow just to get a little bit more explanation, and once I do that, I'll forward everything to you guys in email, so you've got all of that information, but,
Yeah,
it's,
and he continues to recommend to lower the price.
yes, so that is the other, the realtor, the broker
Not the
has,
broker, right, yeah.
continues to recommend, because there's been so little activity on the building. I did double check with him, before I put that on the agenda. It is still his suggestion to drop the price to $364,999.
And where are we now?
We're at,
How
$399. So
Yeah,
he,
wow.
many times have we dropped to
once, only once.
this once?
Yeah.
What'd you say, you recommend 360?
Just under 365, so 364,999
Oh, okay.
is his recommendation. I know that we've tabled this a couple of times.
And we're at 390.
We're
Does
currently
he
at
really
399.
think it's the money that's stopping people?
Exactly.
I do think, yes.
Or is it the limitations that the village has and what the?
Well, it's a
purpose of the-
combination, it's a combination of things, because right now, we're asking a lot of money on a building that's pretty much gonna have to be torn down because of the zoning of that. So I mean, it's a combination of those two things. This is a lot of money to pay for a tear down,
Yeah.
so,
Do we
and-
know what the land is worth? Separate from the building?
we do not.
And we'd have to tear the building down if we did that.
Yeah.
You have to, yeah. you
We'd have to tear the
know-
building down.
Tear
We'd
the
have to tear
building
the
down
building down
before you
first.
would know
Yeah.
the value of the
Oh,
land.
okay.
And we're not paying taxes on it, so
Yeah.
Right.
it's not a
So
lo-
it's not-
higher or lower the taxes.
So certainly dropping the price here, you're just below that 365 cutoff, so there's gonna be, people are gonna, how people search for real estate, we do it
Something be done more
ourselves.
vaguely that the price is negotiable?
No, when you listen.
No, I mean, they usually don't recommend that you do that. I mean,
I don't recommend it either, but I'm getting fed up with the whole thing.
Well, and, I mean, especially I think business or, people that are purchasing this as as an investment, either they're gonna build something there or whatever, and they're gonna be working with a broker, or they are brokers themselves, they all know they can negotiate. You know what I mean? No one's gonna come in when you sell a house.
Right.
You're not gonna offer, unless there's 9 other offers or something like that. I mean, this is just the starting
Ever had
point.
an offer,
we have not.
had an offer, we've had people,
We haven't had an offer that we have had to negotiate with, because people who have been serious about an offer, we couldn't move forward because of the zoning.
because of the zoning, but they were willing to buy it at that.
They were
whatever the
willing
price
to
was.
go into negotiations. I don't know if they were willing to buy it at that price, but they were willing to enter negotiations. Yeah, yeah, we've not done that. So, again, it's up to the board.
How much again is that compared to what we bought?
We purchased the building for $250,000, and put $42,000 into it. I think we had to pay about 1.5 years of back taxes, and then there were some upgrades that we did, I think,
Water.
alarm
something
system or
to-
something with some minor thing with the water. Probably most of that extra $42,000 was the back taxes. Yeah, so if you wanted to look at it that way, you're 292 into it, but at this point,
I'd like to come out with 292.
I mean, I guess at this point, I'm kind of the mind that,
I know,
it is
stingy.
Still
that way.
profit.
yeah, I mean, it's not,
It would be
we don't do our books in the same way that you do your personal checkbook, for example. I mean, each year is kind of a distinct year. I mean, I get what you're
My
saying.
checkbook is pretty distinct too.
I get what you're saying, but
It goes from empty to empty, or.
When you state this, so the loss in the sale is not gonna be that much of a difference, even if it's sold for, even if
Well, I
it's
just-
290.
Yeah, I just don't wanna lose a lot on this.
Well, there's no loss in it, because at the time when it was bought, I mean, even if it drops below the price, it's still gonna be able to recoup the money that was put out already, and the loan's been paid off today, like I said, so there's no money out on it at this point. It's just an asset that's sitting there.
Yeah.
It's not that's worth asset value, and no equity, no negative equity against it.
Yeah, and that loan wasn't for this building. That loan was just, it was a line of credit loan that the board and the previous administration had gotten during the renovation in case so they had gotten a line of credit up to $750,000, and then they lessened that because they figured they weren't gonna need that. And then we were able to convert that line of credit to a term loan. So that's not anything associated with purchase of the building.
But there was a loan building that it had been paid off also, I remember.
I believe that we paid for the building outright.
We paid for the building outright.
Yeah, there was no,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So the loan that we paid off was just a line of credit that we turned into a term loan, so.
This is kind of, now that you mention that, is the amount of credit that was taken that was not as lower, would that have been enough to open, when they opened the walls to do all the replacements?
Probably. There were probably some other things that we could have done with that, but I think that, and I think, the board was very concerned about making sure that we didn't get ourselves into trouble, because we would have had to pay that off, that kind of thing. So we could have done some other things, but that's water under the bridge. Right, so,
So
yeah.
how is everyone feeling about the lowering of the price? And I understand that there's hesitation, but,
We should probably make a motion and then discuss.
so, okay, all right.
I mean, if you.
Make a motion
To have the discussion, you make a motion.
Yeah.
So to have a discussion, all right, so, well, okay, I'll make a
Start
motion, I'll start it. I'll make a motion to lower the price of the 6200 Lincoln Avenue building to $364,999.
And 99 cents.
Well, then anyone wants to second it?
Second.
Okay. This we can
And then
talk about
now
it,
you-
so.
Yeah. So now you can ask, right?
Yes, okay, so how is everyone feeling? I know the hesitation, I know that there's been frustration with this, but we have yet to have a solid offer, so,
in the market for a very long time, since before, someone was on the board, so.
It's been over a year.
it's been over,
Oh, yeah.
And it's still above the purchase price if that's the.
Whatever we sell it for at this
And
point,
whoever's gonna offer, it's still gonna offer below the, unless, like I said, unless there's
It's
multiple
profit.
offers.
total profit.
It's- it really is.
Everything,
Yeah.
anything we get for it is money in our pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
And, anybody who's, it's no.
Sometimes if you go, I mean, I'm not thrilled with lowering the price, but
yeah.
364, 999, you may have a couple people, and then they go back,
Especially if they
whatever.
change their search parameters, it might
Right.
not even fall into it at this point if they're.
Right, right.
Yeah. I get the hesitation too, I do,
Well, I also hesitate with 365, I mean, why is that a magic number? Why not cut it 25,000? We're at 399, you said? Why don't we go 375? It's,
Well, you always wanna go right below those
Well,
types of setups, but
374.
I understand that, I'm going on the broker's recommendation, who's been doing his job,
right,
I mean,
but
so,
why did he,
I don't know, he didn't say why, but that was his
Market
recommendation.
analysis, if anything, if
Right.
you do the market analysis based on the properties around the area, plus the, what's selling and what, and based on the limitation of the property. 374 may yield some offers, but 364 may actually jumpstart the market a little bit, just to, like I said, might fall in between into the parameters that you're talking about. So 375, you want to do those search things on many of those search engines, or even people looking on the MLS or even commercial real estate, that's like the threshold on the 365 as opposed to 375. So.
I think that's a really good point, that I'm sure he's done, compared to other buildings
Yeah,
that
I'm
he's sold
sure
or
that's
that
why
he's
he's
selling,
doing
or that
that,
what else is
yeah.
in the market, and, what he thinks of this.
I'm gonna call the question, which means you have to take a vote.
You have to take a vote.
okay. So I don't know how to word
And I
this.
would definitely say person by person, that
Oh, yeah, it has to be.
it's a money issue.
It's a money issue.
Okay, so I have,
You say that the question has been called.
the question's been called.
How do I document it?
You can just say that the question was called.
After the
Yeah.
vote?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
playing all those.
I'll figure it out how to do it in the minutes,
Okay.
And then roll call after
and then
this.
we'll call.
I don't wanna waste all the time.
You might want to reiterate the original motion
Okay.
after that.
It's called, okay.
And we have quorums, we have 6 on this.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Okay. Do I have to move that you move that, or just the question called is?
You can just do the question called.
Okay.
I just to remind all the board, I would reiterate the original motion, was to lower the price.
Okay, so the question has been called for the, regarding the motion to lower the price of the 6200 Lincoln Avenue building to $364,999.
Okay, and now I'll roll call. Mesa Jack,
Yes?
Lonzo,
Yes.
Novick,
Yes.
Joanne, Pelletier, yes. Puzo,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
reluctance.
No, reluctantly. I'm so.
No, I did already.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I go back to Mark Ellis,
So that
that's where my anger goes.
So motion carries.
it does.
Pushed it.
Motion carries.
I will notify Brian Webb tomorrow that the board agreed to that, and hopefully that'll generate some more interest, and like I said, I'll forward all the information from Frank as well about the.
And just a side note, it's not gonna guarantee generate interest, it's gonna improve the chances, my impression,
Right.
that's one of the reasons.
Right.
Because it's been sitting stagnant in terms of pricing for this long, and all these offers and viewers have gone through, potentially the lower one will actually maybe even generate some interest.
Right.
That didn't exist before, but anything that would have already been seen would have already been looked at. Maybe in the last year and a half, almost 15 months, 18 months, that's when the market is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now we have new business, which is the resolution 2018-06, resolution authorizing transfer of funds from the general library fund 10 to special reserve fund 20.
This is just a resolution to transfer money from excess funds into our special reserve, as instructed by the auditor. I think I said at a previous meeting that they would like to see us document that a little bit more than we have been in the past, so we're just asking for the board approval to transfer. This money is actually coming out of petty cash, which we try to keep approximately $2,000 in, and right now there's almost there's over $9,000 in it, so we'd like to transfer this money. So that's all it
Could I ask a question before we?
Sure.
Or do
We have to,
We have to do a motion first?
is. We have to do a motion and then discussion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 2018-06, resolution authorizing transfer of funds from the general library fund 10 to the special reserve fund 20.
I'll second it.
Second, somebody. Oh, my question is only because you have an amount on this resolution.
Mhm.
So every time you want to transfer money, you do that?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
The auditor wants that paper trail.
That's fine,
Okay.
that's why I was wondering, because you put an amount
Yeah.
in there, I'm thinking this is not a general
No,
resolution.
yeah, it has to be.
It's specific.
How did it get to 9,000?
Vending machine funds go in there.
Wow.
There's a couple other things that go into that account, and so that it builds up over time. So
Would it
every
pay
few
when
months
you do
we.
a new budget, would it pay to have more categories when you work on the budgets? So we wouldn't have to move things around, it would be.
Well, it's actually to our benefit to do this, because that special reserve fund is money that we can use to fix the building. So we can add more funds, we don't need to, because the thing is that we can choose, because it doesn't make any sense. So even if we added a vending machine line for income, it's still gonna build up and build up and build up, and then what are we gonna do with it?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm
At
not a
some
money
point,
person, so,
at some point, we would be transferring those monies into special reserves anyway.
okay.
Because the idea is that this is money that we have not budgeted to be spent anywhere else, so it's extra. So, we can wait till the end of the year to transfer it, but our procedures have kind of been that we don't wanna put anything more than, we don't wanna keep anything more than about 2,000 to
I think we
2,500
should start a
cash.
whole, maybe a bar for the adults.
Yeah, there we go.
So
So,
roll call that.
yes,
Yes.
we'll need to roll call.
Okay. Monzo,
Yes.
Novick,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Puzo? Yes. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Elizabeth?
Yes. Okay, so the August board meeting.
Do you guys wanna meet?
No.
Okay.
Oh, we'll take a motion for that one too?
The last couple of years, we've canceled the August board meetings.
People have been on vacations and stuff like that, so I think we've all got used to it.
There's strong passion about that. As long as you feel, if you're good, you know,
The only thing that, you know, if someone makes this great offer on the building or whatever, I mean, I would call, and I can email all of you guys, we'd have to have a special board meeting.
Right.
It's totally fine with me,
Yeah.
it doesn't,
You should appreciate it.
August is usually I shouldn't say that, I mean, there's always stuff going on, but it's
Yes.
fine,
Oh,
yeah.
there's not.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, summer reading's over, people are getting ready for school, that kind of thing, so.
Does that work with everybody?
Yes.
Canceling,
Okay, so we should make a motion to cancel, did somebody already, and I didn't miss it?
do you wanna?
You have to make a motion, yeah.
Motion to cancel the August.
Okay, I'll make a motion to cancel the August,
board meeting.
do we have to have a date?
9.
9th board meeting.
I'll second it.
Because that was-
And then, or second, and you can just do a
All
voice
in
vote for
favor?
that.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed?
Okay,
Okay, so approval of annual service agreement between Warrenboro Public Library and Midwest Mechanical.
so, you have a copy, this is just the agreement, Midwest Mechanical, as you've heard Dave and I talk, both tonight and numerous times over the past several months. They are the people that service our HVAC units.
They're a very important role in this.
They play a very important role in this
Yes.
library. They're actually, I think this is probably 3% higher than last year's agreement was, maybe 2, I don't know if it's 2 or 3. The amount of the agreement is $17,564 for the annual agreement, they usually break it up quarterly. But they are very, very, very well versed in our building, work very well with Dave. So it would be my recommendation that the board would continue this service agreement with them.
I'd like to call out on page 6, where it has, towards the bottom, right above offered by, it says 7/1/2018 through 6/30.
Yes, it does.
Probably should be 2020.
I will,
Oh my gosh.
so I will get that approved, or get that changed.
Same thing
Good
about that.
eye.
Yeah, the
Like
wording,
that was a good, I'm sorry?
Also, the date's wrong in the wording about,
little paragraph right
Yeah,
above it.
I did probably use a template, so,
And
Yes.
7-1 is passed already.
yes, it
so-
is. So I will get that changed, but if the board gives me approval to sign the agreement when I get the new one, if that's okay, with the dates corrected.
Is the motion to approve with the date, with the corrections as requested
Yeah.
by the board?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some comments?
So you can amend your
I
motion.
thought you were-
Oh,
They had June 30th, 2011 twice,
Yeah.
in the paragraph
Yeah,
and in
that's
the
what we said.
figure.
Motion to approve the agreement between Midwest Mechanical and the Warrenboro Public Library with the changes as requested by the board.
I'll second.
Thank you for catching that, Layla. I used to always look at the dollar amount.
Yeah.
I want you to know
So
I read these
funny.
things.
No, absolutely.
roll call, right?
Yeah.
Novick?
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Puzo?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Does the
Mr.
July
Chair?
1st also have to be changed?
Rondo?
Yes, it's come and gone.
No.
Because it's backdated
It's
from
not
the
like we
previous.
need to give to everything, we have so many units,
Oh, I know.
you know?
They have been, working for the, I mean, our previous contract ended, June 30th officially.
Yeah.
So they've actually been working,
That's what I would assume.
they might not, I don't even know that they've been out since June 30th.
Yeah.
So, we were fairly confident that the board would approve
Right.
this. So, you know, we had kind of indicated that to them that we were fairly certain the board would approve. Because it's been a good, they've been a really good, service provider for us.
Yeah. We
So,
need it, yeah. Okay, Open Meetings Act compliance, the review of closed session minutes, release or retain.
So, Lima, what this is that by law, we are required to review closed session minutes, both the written minutes and the recordings of those minutes, at least twice a year. And so, the first part of this is we're reviewing the written minutes. And what we're looking at is whether or not we want to release, meaning we'll open up the minutes to the public, or keep them closed, so release or retain. So, in your packets, what you see are the two, the minutes from the 2 board meetings or 2 executive sessions that were closed since the last time we did this. And then the board has to decide whether or not there's anything in this that they feel needs to stay closed, or that this is information that can be shared with the public.
Can I make a motion now, or do we need to talk about it?
I would make a motion, and if you want to talk about it, you can talk about it.
Oh, okay. I would make a motion to release the minutes from May 12th, 2016 and January 11th, 2018.
Second?
Anyone?
Did you second it?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
And this
Any-
is only the written
This is only
minutes.
the two written minutes.
Mhm.
Any questions or concerns about that? Okay.
I can't find any reason not to.
Yeah, I
No,
think
there's
there's nothing
nothing
incriminating
personal.
or any
Right.
reason.
Yeah, there's no,
In fact, they say nothing.
Okay. Pelletier, yes. Puzo?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
yes.
Mixager?
Yes.
Wanzon?
Yes.
Novick?
Yes.
Okay, now we have review of verbatim recordings of closed sessions over 18 months, 18 months old per 5 ILCS, well,
120, yeah.
120/2.06, C1 of the Open Meetings Act, destroy or retain.
So this
I
is
read it
the
already.
second part of this, Lima, that the other thing that the board is required to do at least 2 times a year is to review recordings that are at least 18 months old of closed session minutes, because by law, we're required to record closed sessions. Recordings can only be destroyed if there are written minutes based on those meetings. And so that's what you're seeing here are the written minutes of these recordings that we are asking the board's permission to destroy. Or in this case, erase from the digital recorder.
Right.
So,
I'll make a motion to approve, to destroy the verbatim recordings of the closed session minutes of May 12th, 2016, May 25th, 2016, May 26th, 2016, November 7th, 2016, November 10th, 2016, and December 8th, 2016.
I'll second it. I took yours, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say that, I mean, that opinion. Okay. Puzo? Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Wanzon?
Yes.
Novick?
Yes.
Pelletier, yes.
The picture with the.
yeah, so I can take all of your minutes and shred them if you'd like. So, even though we're gonna open them.
Yeah.
That is the first bit. So that will happen 2 times a year, and so the next time we do it is in January. We usually do it in January and July, so.
So communications.
I don't know if everyone was in the room. What you have, the little letter from the letter from the little girl is, one of the children's programs was, they were writing letters to libraries, and they encouraged everyone to write to like faraway libraries and that kind of thing. But 2 people really wanted to write to Morton Grove. So this is the letter that I received from one of these young ladies, and I will be responding to her. So that's what I thought it was cute. And then I had sent this to everyone via email about serving as co-grand marshals at the parade. But I think it's a very nice letter, and you know, as we've said other times, I'm really pleased that the village recognized us in that manner. It was a nice surprise
Yes.
for us, I think. So,
Okay, so we have public comments, non-agenda items, still not public. Executive session, no need to put into. So, we can adjourn the meeting at 8:28 PM.
I'll second.